Brifa channel, doing a special report on Kristi Noem and Pam Bondi and their days of triumph. Kristi Noem, of course, unlocking the achievement of Sith Lord, achieving the rank of Sith Lord, and the new monarcha, Kid Killer Kristi, Trump's favorite. Pam Bondi, of course, being marked safe from the Epstein files. Pam Bondi, after she and the Timu KGB and the IDF did a rigorous self-investigation of themselves, they determined there are no Epstein files. They were never on Pam Bondi's desk. Pam Bondi doesn't even have a desk. And for these two Trumpian heroes, I almost said American here. For these two Trump-Putineer heroes, we must celebrate at the FA, Fascist American News Briefa channel. So first, Kid Killer Kristi. Kid Killer Kristi has graduated from killing puppies to killing dozens of schoolgirls and hundreds of Texans. And for this, she's risen in the Trump world nearly to the top, to the rank of Sith Lord, with the new title, Darth Kristi, still with two little hearts for her eyes. And the other moniker that Trump likes even more, Kid Killer Kristi. Kid Killer Kristi are the exact initials that Trump likes more than any other initials in the world. And Kid Killer Kristi is what he's got now. Kid Killer Kristi managed to kill dozens of schoolgirls and hundreds of Texans, not just with the climate change that made the floods bad in the first place, not just with firing people. Those are all Trump's job. Trump took care of that. And Trump took care of this too. Trump set Kid Killer Kristi up to do this. She just did it perfectly. So it doesn't take any credit away from Trump killing these people. Trump deserves all the credit. But Kid Killer Kristi was the one who played her part. According to the new rules, any expenditure by FEMA over $100,000 requires the signature of Kristi Noem. She refused to give this signature for 72 hours, therefore preventing any federal rescue efforts for 72 hours. This is an amazing achievement on her part. Managed to kill and lose many people. And keep in mind, when they say losing people, surely some of the kids that were lost were kidnapped by by Trump. Trump is so good at kidnapping kids because he learned it by watching you, Dad. He learned it by watching his daddy, Vladdy. Putin is really good at kidnapping kids. We know he's kidnapped thousands of kids from the Ukraine. And Trump is trying to kidnap thousands of kids from the borders, from their homes, from their schools, from everywhere. Trump is really good at kidnapping kids. So I'm sure he kidnapped some of the kids who were lost in these floods. But Kristi Noem, hello. Welcome to the Fascist American News Briefa. We're doing a satire fascism news show so that YouTube will allow people to see it, since YouTube promotes fascism. So we're cheering on Kid Killer Kristi Noem, for killing all those school kids and killing all those Texans. We're cheering Kristi Noem on for all the deaths she did for Trump and Putin. And we're cheering on Pam Bondi for managing to lose the Epstein files. Let's get into it. Pam Bondi and the Timu KGB, FBI, and the IDF all did a thorough and rigorous investigation of themselves. Determined there are no Epstein files. Never were any Epstein files. Pam Bondi doesn't even have a desk. What are you talking about? Nothing to see here. And who cares about Jeffrey Epstein anyway? He's swimming with Osama now, around their private island. So, did I say that out loud? But yes, so Pam Bondi's been marked safe from the Epstein files. Pam Bondi's marked Trump safe from the Epstein files. So, major win for Trump world there. But another major win is all the people they managed to kill in Texas. Oh my. Kid Killer Kristi Noem, has graduated from killing puppies to killing dozens of school kids and hundreds of Texans. They did this not only with Trump's overall plan to make climate change as bad as possible, thus creating the deadliness of the storm to begin with, and Trump's plan firing all the weather people. Everyone knows about that. Everyone's reporting on that. But only the Midas Touch Network is reporting on this, and they're crying about it because they're commies. They're Antifa. They like human life. But Kristi Noem is the one who's responsible for holding back all federal response for 72 hours. Think about how many kids can drown and die in 72 hours. That's all from Kristi Noem's truly dedicated to Trump and Putin's work. Kristi Noem is a real asset to the MAGA world by killing these kids. Of course, they've all helped kill all the kids in Gaza. They've been killing kids. Killing kids is nothing new to them. But the ruthlessness to refuse to sign the orders to allow the rescue to go in for 72 hours. When the kids are your own supporters, the kids are the kids of your own Trump-Putineer Christians, and the Christians are ready to blame their God. Trump Putineers are such traitors. They're ready to blame their God before they're willing to blame Trump. So really got them where you want them. And Kristi Noem, Kid Killer Kristi, is the one who really pulled the trigger on that to execute those kids in executing Trump's plans. Trump and Putin's plan. You can never leave Putin out of the credit. Putin gets all the credit. Trump gets the credit. We're not taking anything away from Trump, but this is the FA news briefer. This is the fascist American news briefer. So we're not shy at all about giving credit to the true fascist, Putin, Netanyahu, Trump. The only one, if they can't stop them, they can't stop fascism. So Trump and Putin and Netanyahu get all the credit, but Kristi Noem played a crucial role. Kristi Noem played the part they wrote for her perfectly. She refused to sign the orders to let anyone go in for 72 hours. So Kristi Noem has unlocked the achievement Kid Killer Kristi and achieved the rank of Sith Lord by killing all these kids and killing all these Texans. It's always fun to talk about how many kids they killed because they killed dozens of kids. But we can't keep in mind, we can't ignore that they also killed hundreds of Texans. That killing hundreds of Texans isn't just icing on the cake. Killing hundreds of Texans isn't just the cherry on top. Killing hundreds of Texans was part of the plan. We just talk about the kids more. Killing the kids, they probably would have rather kidnapped the kids because of what Putin and Trump do with kids. But I'm sure they kidnapped some. Don't fear. I'm sure they kidnapped some kids in this that they rescued and didn't return. So I'm sure they kidnapped some kids. Of the 160 missing, surely they kidnapped some kids. And those kids will wish they were dead. Those kids will envy the kids that drowned. Guarantee. So don't worry about that. 850 kids did unfortunately escape, but Kristi Noem will get them eventually. Don't worry. Kristi Noem will get them eventually. And if you have any kids out there that need killing, Kristi Noem will be more than happy to kill them. She's shown that she doesn't mind at all killing her own parties, grandkids, and kids. She did it with relish. She's still smiling about it. She was literally smiling about it while she was killing them because while they were waiting for her signature to send in rescues, 72 hours she made them wait. She would have made them wait longer if she could have, I'm sure. Don't lose any faith in her for that. She'll make them wait longer next time, or they'll cancel FEMA entirely. But she made him wait 72 hours, and she managed to do photo shoots where she took some pictures of her on horses and asked her fans which would be the best. So she is the cold-blooded killer that Trump needed. See what I did there? Kristi Noem is the cold-blooded killer that Trump needed to be his Secretary of Homeland Security. She's the perfect one for his plan to completely destroy Homeland Security in America, to completely destroy America for Putin. Trump's only goal, and Kristi Noem's fitting it perfectly. She did manage to kill hundreds of Texans and school kids from all over the country. She did manage to do that. She could have killed more. Let's give her credit. Let's give her time. Let's give her a chance, because if we give her a chance, surely she'll kill many more, tens of thousands more times kids than she's killed so far. So Kid Killer Kristi will live up to her name and make Trump and Putin and all Trump Putineers proud by continuing to kill kids, If she can kill this many Christian kids, imagine how many kids she can kill of other religions. So she can kill them with impunity and her own Christian Republican kids. Whew, nothing's going to stop Kid Killer Kristi. And she's the cold-blooded killer that Trump needed to be his Secretary of Homeland Security. Meanwhile, Pam Bondi, the Timu KGB FBI, and the IDF all did a thorough and rigorous investigation of themselves, determined there are no Epstein files. They were never on Pam Bondi's desk. Pam Bondi doesn't even have a desk. So, Pam Bondi and Kid Killer Kristi Noem, have really risen in the Trump ranks today, marking everyone safe from the Epstein files. And who cares about Epstein anyway? He's swimming with Osama now, around their private island. But Kid Killer Kristi held back the rescue teams for 72 hours. Kid Killer Kristi made sure that as many of those kids died in Texas as possible, and killing hundreds of older Texans as well, and other people vacationing in the area. Kid Killer Kristi managed to kill hundreds. We don't even know how many hundreds have been killed yet. Some are still ranked as missing, and surely Kid Killer Kristi helped Trump kidnap those kids, because Trump and Putin are really good at kidnapping kids. And nobody really stops them from kidnapping kids, so they would not miss an opportunity to kidnap kids from that camp. Let's give them some credit. You know, these guys are good at kidnapping kids. They're good at kidnapping people of all ages, but they're especially good at kidnapping kids. I think Putin kidnapped 17,000 kids from Ukraine so far. So they can kidnap some kids. But Kristi Noem killed as many as she could. Kristi Noem kept the federal response back for 72 hours. That's a lot of deaths. You can kill a lot of people with a flood and 72 hours of holding back help. So Kristi Noem deserves all that credit. Kristi Noem deserves her new rank of Sith Lord, Darth Kristi, with little hearts above the eyes. And Kristi Noem deserves her new title, Kid Killer Kristi. And you know Trump's going to love calling her Kid Killer Kristi. He'll just abbreviate it to the initials because he loves those initials. Oh, someone's objecting to someone calling out Kid Killer Kristi. So, you don't support Kid Killer Kristi and Trump? What's your address? We're going to need your address if you don't support Kid Killer Kristi and Trump. Because Kid Killer Kristi managed to kill all those school kids. Kid Killer Kristi just graduated from killing puppies to killing dozens of schoolgirls and hundreds of Texans. And boy, is Trump and Putin and Nathan Gary proud. Nathan Gary. Channel activity of Nathan Gary includes joined 12 years ago, has 13 subscribers. That's an average of more than a subscriber a year. And let's read Nathan Gary's fascist comment. Nathan Gary is very clearly a fascist, so his comments are welcome to be read. You should seek some help, FR. Don't know what FR stands for. We're talking about Kid Killer Kristi here and Pam Bondi, but retarded people always take the Steele dossier route. Let's just screenshot that, both for the slurs and for the complaint. We can see that I was talking about the Epstein files, but apparently the distraction from the Epstein files is to say, look, Russia, Russia, Russia. And of course, Russia did interfere and continues to interfere, and Putin is the one who's responsible ultimately for killing those kids. Both the kids in Gaza, because Putin's responsible for Netanyahu, and Putin is responsible for killing the kids in Texas. Pam Bondi played a crucial role, or what's her name? Kid Killer Kristi. Kristi Noem played a crucial role. She played her part to a T to kill those kids. She maybe could have killed more, but she did hold the rescue back for 72 hours. That killed a lot of kids. Kristi Noem managed to kill lots of kids by holding the rescue back for 72 hours. We've got to give her credit for that. Surely she'll hold the rescues back further or cancel FEMA entirely and kill more kids next time. She did kill hundreds of Texans as well. Let's give her credit for killing the hundreds of Texans. And none of this credit is to take any credit away from Trump and Putin. They get the full credit because they made the plan. All she did was refuse to sign for 72 hours, made sure there weren't any rescues. Kid Killer Kristi played her part perfectly. And Pam Bondi played her part perfectly. She said that files were on her desk, but you have to understand, Pam Bondi's pronouns are Putin and Putin's. Trump's pronouns are Putin and Putin's. When Pam Bondi says the files are on my desk, she just means the files are on Putin's desk, like all our files are, thanks to Elon and Trump. All our files are on Putin's desk. She's not lying. He has all of our files. That's what we wanted. That's what we voted for. Thanks for watching the Fascist American News Briefer, the FA News Briefer. Be back soon, but one more time, shout out to Kid Killer Kristi, Darth Kristi, for her invaluable work killing those kids in Texas and killing those Texans. She really did a job for Trump and Putin in that one. She's really showing what we have to look forward to. So Kid Killer Kristi's really earned that title, Kid Killer. And Trump, you know Trump's going to love to call her Kid Killer Kristi. He'll probably just abbreviate it. But Trump's going to love calling her Kid Killer Kristi. And Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi and the Timu KGB, the FBI, and the IDF all did a thorough and rigorous investigation of themselves. Determined there are no Epstein files. No Epstein files, nothing to see here. They were never on Pam Bondi's desk. Pam Bondi doesn't even have a desk. So for Kid Killer Kristi and Pam Bondi, really working, so used to when we pretended to be American. My mouth wants to say American heroes. Of course, they're not that. They're Trump Putineers. They're anti-American. They're Trump Putineers. They're MAGA heroes. And their goal is to destroy America. But heroes in destroying America. American destruction heroes. Kid Killer Kristi and Pam Bondi really made a name for themselves today. People aren't giving Kid Killer Kristi the credit she deserves. People aren't giving Kristi Noem the credit she deserves. People don't really know that she held back the rescue for 72 hours. They don't really know that yet because the mainstream media is not going to report on it because they're going to protect Kid Killer Kristi. They're going to protect Trump and Putin, of course. Shout out to the Midas Touch Network. Midas Touch Network is where I heard all this information, but they were, of course, sad about it. They were sad about it because they're commies. They're sad about it because they're Antifa. Here at the Fascist American News Briefer, we know that killing kids, killing Texans, killing Christians, killing anybody you can in America all serves Trump and Putin. That's all they want. All they want is to destroy America, so everybody you kill, the more the merrier. They did unfortunately let 850 kids escape, but Kid Killer Kristi will get to them eventually. If you got any kids out there you need killing, Kristi Noem will be happy to kill them for you. So send them her way, or just let them know where she is, and give them half a flood, she'll kill them for you. So Kid Killer Kristi really did Trump and Putin's work today, and Pam Bondi really did Trump and Putin's work today. And this Fa News Briefer cheering them on, and despite the fact that YouTube only puts Trump Putineers in my comments, maybe they're just dumbstruck with wonder and awe and respect for Kid Killer Kristi. They're so proud of how Kristi killed those kids. Kristi Noem killed all those kids and all those Texans, and they're so proud they just can't stand it, and they have nothing to say. Maybe that's all it is. They're so proud of Darth Kristi. But this is celebrating Kid Killer Kristi Noem, and Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi and the Timu KGB, FBI, and the IDF all investigated themselves thoroughly and rigorously and determined that there are no Epstein files. There never were. They were never on Pam Bondi's desk. Pam Bondi doesn't even have a desk. They found all this out and marked safe from the Epstein files. Who cares about the Epstein files anyway? Epstein's swimming with Osama now around their private island. So, fuck Trump and fuck Putin and fuck Kristi Noem and fuck Netanyahu and fuck, what's her name, Pam Bondi, and fuck Epstein and fuck all of them. And that was some hard satire to do for an hour or two. But I'm just going to go ahead and break character, because I've lost the accent plenty of times. And it went Russian and Australian and all this other stuff. Although, I mean, the trolls are from Russia and Australia and everything too, so it tracks. But yeah, Kid Killer Kristi Noem killed all those kids in Texas, and it really does suck. And it was really touching for the Midas Touch Network guy to be crying about it when he was reporting. It was the most affected and emotional I've ever seen him. And it did encourage me to go ahead and do the satire version, Fa News Briefer, Fascist American News Briefer, cheering them on for killing those kids. But that's all the Trump Putineers are doing. I mean, they're willing to blame their God. They're willing to betray their God before they'll blame Trump. And Trump is the actual guilty party. Such traitors. All they are is traitors. Anyway, I lost the character, so I'll shut it down. I lost the character. I lost the audience. Never really had much of an audience. It's kind of funny. When I do my normal thing, I guess YouTube puts some Trump Putineers in here, and then they comment and troll, and that brings more Trump Putineers. I shouldn't say I never get Americans or decent people. I do get decent people sometimes. But, like, I do a thing where I just automatic citizenship for everyone ICE encounters. Automatic citizenship for everyone ICE terrorizes. And I'll just keep repeating that for a live until 1,000 people have come in the live, and no one really disagree. So, on the one hand, maybe it's just decent, regular people who are just, I don't know, watching because they're curious or something, and there's nothing wrong with them. They don't support Trump, but they just don't have anything to say. And these people who don't speak English are just trying to learn English. Wow, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you're learning English from me, but I mean, I've got good things to say, but especially when I do a character like that. Sorry if you're learning English from me. But yeah, just for the record, since I did some of these lives, in character, that is a character, a fascist news reporter, inspired by NPR and stuff. And the Fox people and everybody else who's even more obviously fascist than them, of course. But anyway, I just want to point out that Kristi Noem killed those kids. Kristi Noem killed those Texans. Pam Bondi hid or destroyed the Epstein files. Like, what do you people want? Like, how much? It seems like all your niche things, like caring about Christians, well, they just washed a bunch of them away in a flood. Given half a flood, she'd wash your kids away too. Caring about Epstein and sex trafficking victims, you don't care about the victims. Like, Trump's the perpetrator. Like, you never cared about the victims. And then you let Trump be like, well, who cares about Epstein anyway? People still care about Epstein. Epstein's swimming with Osama now around our private island. So, like, you don't care. You never cared. Like, you'll care when it's happening to you, which is why it's a good thing that Texas got flooded. But really, the deaths are all because of Kristi Noem and Trump and Putin. They wrote it up so that they couldn't use any federal resources to rescue people until Kristi Noem signed off on it. And she refused to sign off for 72 hours. and took selfies. That's what your people did. That's what your people do. They kill kids. They kill your Texas neighbors. Like, that's what they do. And then they've turned these people into such traitors that they're willing to blame their God before they're willing to blame Trump. Their God doesn't even exist, much less be responsible. Trump is responsible. Trump did it. But they won't blame Trump. They blame their God. So anyway, good time for them to realize that they've been turned into total traitors. And the only thing to do when you've been turned into a total traitor, you have an evil master like Trump or their evil God, betray that God. Discover the goddess instead. That's where the Church of Judas comes in handy. This is stuff I really believe in and was going to be writing about before I decided to do these characters for lives that didn't seem to reach too many people. But the Church of Judas replaces all patriarchy, Christianity, war, and Trumpism. We end Trumpism, we end war, we end Christianity, we end patriarchy. If these ideas are startling to you or scary to you or too much, you probably shouldn't be here. Okay, because this is what I usually talk about. Just now is having fun, making fun of Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem for killing all those kids and killing all those Texans and shaking all those people's faith in their God. And hopefully, ultimately, shaking all these people's faith in their God, Trump and Putin. But we'll get to that in their live. Oh, wait, we got an actual response, but it's from that Nazi. So I'll read it in Russian. Back to this clown, uploading disaster and placing blame on politicians. You're so out of touch with reality. No, Kristi Noem killed those kids. Kristi Noem is the one who didn't sign didn't allow rescue from the federal government for 72 hours. You killed those kids. You're applauding Kristi Noem and Trump killing those kids. All you can do is project. All your accusations are confessions. You never broke up sex ring one. Guarantee you Trump kidnapped some of those kids while they were rescuing them. They just rescued some and didn't return them. But Kristi Noem stopped all the federal rescue. That's when Trump probably she was probably holding back for 72 hours the federal rescue to give Trump a chance to kidnap the kids from the trees. And they didn't get returned. And they probably envied the dead. Nope, national anarchist. You really call yourself national anarchist? You really call yourself national anarchist and you're licking Trump's boots in an anti-Trump live. You call yourself, no, we're getting your information. National anarchist channel activity. Joined 6 years ago, 3 subscribers, pretty good. A subscriber every 2 years. National anarchist says, you are delusional. Also, Democrats advocate for the genital mutilation of small children in the name of transgenderism. Democrats are evil. No, that's not true. And you're a Nazi. You've identified yourself as a Nazi by typing that. But all you're doing is spreading Nazi Putin propaganda. And Kristi Noem just killed dozens of kids and hundreds of Texans. Okay? So what you're talking about, what you're lying about, has nothing compared to Kristi Noem killing dozens of kids in Texas and hundreds of Texans, which you're cheering for. Democrats and Planned Parenthood killed 800,000 unborn children. No, those aren't people. Those are fetuses. Your IDF's killed tens of thousands of people in Gaza. Trump's killing millions of people worldwide by canceling aid for programs. Rational with an R? You said it's rational with an R, idiot, is what you typed? National Antichrist? Oh, it's rational. Anarchist. But is it anarchist? You're literally calling yourself an anarchist licking Trump boots? What are you, an accelerationist? You're a Nazi? We know you're a Nazi. But you call yourself an anarchist? Like your title is anarchist and you're a Nazi? So you just like really severely confused about what you are? You're just a hateful bastard. You're just a piece of shit that makes every single one of your ancestors ashamed. It makes them wish that they'd taken themselves out so that you wouldn't have existed. Would have saved us all some trouble and problems. Is that what you are? You're a Nazi? Rational anarchist. It's probably some play on national socialist. You're a Nazi, right? You're admitting you're a Nazi? Like you can type no. You can type no real quick in the comments. Are you a Nazi? You're a Nazi, right? Yep. Got it. You're a Nazi. Disgusting. Disgusting Trump Putineers, like every Trump Putineer. Just a fucking Nazi. Fucking Nazi piece of shit. Like the one that just killed all those kids in Texas. Kristi Noem killed dozens of kids and hundreds of Texans by holding back the federal response for 72 hours. Imagine how many kids can drown and die in 72 hours. How many kids she can let Trump's agents kidnap in 72 hours. You know they kidnap some of them. You know they kidnap hundreds and thousands of kids from the border and from their homes and from Walmarts and their schools. You know Trump kidnapped thousands of kids from Ukraine. I mean, Putin kidnapped thousands of kids from Ukraine. You're a bunch of fucking kidnappers. And you're kidnapping people from our streets. Well, until we stop you. But people are starting to stop you. People are starting to make ICE scared. There should be a fast track to citizenship, though. One fast track to citizenship should be automatic citizenship for everyone ICE encounters. And another fast track away from citizenship should all ICE should have their citizenship revoked and be deported. It's like I'm going to deport you guys for not being worth a shit in my comment section. But to people who see this in the future, sorry for having to play that role for so long. I'll probably do it again, though, because it's a good way to make fun of them. And glad I came out of character just to bitch at these people in the comments a little bit. So, thanks. We're going to get to a post-Putin, post-Trump world real soon. Sooner than you know, sooner than anybody expects, we're going to get to one. And it's going to be wonderful. So, looking forward to seeing you there. It'll be just as much more wonderful than the way we're living now, as being able to do a live where I'm not playing the fascist news reporter is better than the way the live was going on when I was being the fascist news reporter. But for a recap, Kristi Noem killed all those kids in Florida, and all those hundreds of Texans, dozens of kids. They probably kidnapped a bunch too. Pam Bondi destroyed the Epstein files, or is hiding the Epstein files. Pam Bondi and Timu KGB, FBI, and the IDF all investigated themselves thoroughly and rigorously and determined there are no Epstein files. They were never on Pam Bondi's desk. Pam Bondi doesn't even have a desk. Check out my content for other versions of the same stuff you just saw here. Comment there since you weren't brave enough to comment in the live. Bye.